Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to another episode of the Test of Time series. In the last episode, we conquered the lands of India, made contact with our neighbors across the sea, and started the process of organizing our holdings. In this episode, we will continue developing the lands we've taken and further developing the lands we already have, and preparing ourselves for a scientific victory. So, I believe in the last episode, I was planning to try to research liberalism and then pick communism for it. But I think, given that we're still recovering from the war with Gandhi and um, all that jazz, I don't necessarily know how far the AIs are in the technology tree. Yeah, they have drama, music, engineering, so they're a little bit behind us, but they might not be far enough behind us for us to get away with that. So instead, I'm going to try and get chemistry through liberalism, which is one that I often get when I'm playing normally, so to speak. That will require far fewer, well, two fewer prerequisite technologies. But even then, that might be enough time for the AI to catch up and get it ahead of us. So, um, I think I'll stick with that. I think we'll stick with that gambit. Um, is the Renaissance because of research
A man does
nationalism.
not have himself killed for a halfpence
Now,
a day or for a petty distinction. You must speak to the soul in order to electrify
oh,
it.
and also I could tell we won the circumnavigation race. There we go. There's the little sound effect and the prompt in the log, because these caravels now have 4 movement per turn, and normally caravels only have 3 movement per turn. So the fact that they have 1 extra over what they usually have is sign enough that we got that bonus. Um, I am just building cottages on these grassland tiles and workshops on our plains tiles. It's sort of similar to the mine green, irrigate brown rule in Civ 3. Uh, kind of like a little rule of thumb. It's good to try to do, but not strictly necessary. Um, so I want to build the Taj Mahal. And obviously I want to build it before anyone else does, because if someone else builds it, then we can't build it ourselves. But the problem becomes that we need to find a city that has enough production to be able to build it before um, anyone else in the world does. Enough. Um, I mean, you're just comparing turn numbers here, trying to find the best city to build this in. Okay. Focus on production. We'll finish it in 25 turns. Even though it's not clearly not focusing on production. Um, we can get this in 16 turns. For the best we're gonna do. Um, So Bombay and another tritium if we take off the that one. Yeah, I think 16 turns is the best we're gonna do. Yeah. So, can get any like, great engineers before then. Great engineer you can use to rush the production of something. Basically, add a whole bunch of hammers towards what you're building. Sort of like the Slavery Civic, except the Great Engineer doesn't cost any population to do so. It uses up the Great Engineer itself, and it will give you a certain amount of hammers based on the, I believe it's the size of the city it's in. Like based on the population of the city, it'll give a certain amount of hammers. Yeah, I think that is what those. Ew. It's fine. Um, anyway, after we get chemistry from liberalism, assuming we win the, the race to research it before anyone else does, I'm going to. I think I will then pivot into communism and probably astronomy, so we can trade with the other civilizations on the map. Then after that, we'll just head straight for railroad and assembly line, which would be good for our industry, and then plow on through to all the technologies we need to win the science victory. In order to win a science victory, I don't think I mentioned this in Civilization 3 because we weren't going for a scientific victory in Civilization 3, but in order to win a science victory, you need to build a spaceship, and you need to first to launch a spaceship and have it reach its destination. In Civilization 3, all you need to do was be the first to build all the parts of the spaceship and then launch it, and then you would win. But in Civilization 4, you need to both launch it and then have it reach its destination before anyone else does. So it's entirely possible to build the spaceship first, but lose to someone else who managed to get theirs to the destination first. So in order to build the spaceship, you first need to build the Apollo program project. Now, a project is sort of like a wonder in that you can only build it in one city and you can only build it once. It says it's a team project, which means that it can only be built once per team. Now, in this game, every player is on their own team, so that effectively means only each player can only build it once. But if I were to have an AI on my team during the setup, you can create teams with other players. In which case you are both allied for the entire game, and you share the benefits of most wonders. It's an interesting mechanic. I might. You can see a lot of co-op games by my friend Henrik here on YouTube. I'll link a link to his channel in the description or a pinned comment or something. That he does a lot of co-op games, and in those games he plays with another human player, and they're on the same team, and you can see the sort of benefits and drawbacks of being on teams in that way. But anyway, the Apollo program, the difference between a project and a wonder is that a project cannot be rushed in any way. So I mentioned great engineers can rush production. The slavery civic can rush production. You cannot use either of those to finish a project. It has to be done just through the raw production output of the city. Um, so you have to finish that first, and that will allow you to create all the parts of the spaceship. Actually, I think if I can open up the um, yeah, if I can open up the Civilopedia, it'll be easier to show you. So there are 7 parts to the spaceship. There's the SS casing. The SS in this case stands for spaceship. SS cockpit, the SS docking bay, engine, life support, stasis chamber, and thrusters. You need at least one of each of these in order to launch your rocket. Now, the SS casing and the SS thruster, you can build up to 5 of each of these. You need at least one, but you can build up to 5. And the engines, you need only one of them, but you can build up to 2. All the other parts, the cockpit, docking bay, life support, and stasis chamber, you only need one. The thrusters and the casing, I can't confirm this because I haven't had it happen. I always just build all 5 of each. But I believe that if you launch your spaceship without all 5 casings and or all 5 thrusters, then there's a chance that the spaceship blows up on its way to its destination, and you have to either build it all over again or you have to pursue a different victory condition. You effectively like waste all your time building all of it because it's, space dust now. So you want to build all 5 of each piece, even though it just says 1, 2, 5 required. Again, I can't confirm that. I haven't had it happen. That's just what I've heard. Some of the comments will probably correct me. In the SS engines, you do only need one to have the spaceship successfully reach its destination. But if you have both, it will go a little faster. So I believe it's like on standard game speed, it's like 2 turns faster if you have both engines than if you have just one. So it might be prudent to skip building your second engine if it would take longer than 2 more turns to finish. So yeah, those. And once you launch the spaceship, it will take a certain amount of turns to get to its destination. On standard speed, if you have all the parts, it will take 10 turns. If, like I mentioned before, if you have only one engine, it will take 2 more turns. It will take 12 turns. So you need to both finish that spaceship and have it reach its destination before anyone else meets both of those requirements as well. So that is how you win spaceship victory, and that is what we are going to try to do. We'll see how it works out, because I am not the best at this game, full disclosure.
But when there is nothing left to take away.
I'm not terrible, but I'm certainly not Henrik. I may have mentioned this in previous episodes. I'm not recording these all at once, but if you want someone who's like actually really good at this game and knows what he's doing, go watch his stuff. He's far more competent at this game than I am. Build a few longbows in these cities just because those are better defensive units. And that guy there because there are a few unexplored coastal tiles near that island, and if we leave them alone too long, a barbarian galley is likely to spawn there and wreak havoc on our fishing boats, on our poor little innocent little fishing boats. Barbarians, I guess barbarian galley's natural prey is fishing boats, fishermen. Wait, Tim. Um, I'll give it a shot. Sometimes it's worth sinking some production into a wonder, even if you don't intend to build it, because if you fail to build a wonder before someone else does, then you will get a sum of gold, whatever, as like compensation. We often call that fail gold, and it's often a lot. The amount of gold you get depends on how much production you sank into the wonder before someone else managed to build it. I don't know the exact math behind it, but I know it's, the more hammers you had in the wonder before you lost it, then the more money you get out of it. Like I said, that's called fail gold because you get it for failing to build a wonder. And it can often be a substantial boost to your treasury to allow you to keep researching on
You can
time.
get more of what you want with a kind word and a gun than you can with just a kind word.
No longer the worst enemy, Charlemagne. That's good to know. Oh, yep. 2 turns after we started building it, it's gone. So yeah, we'll get a small sum of gold for that attempt, but probably won't be anything substantial because we only put 2 turns worth of building, 2 turns worth of production in. Build wealth. How about you start building a longbowman or two? We'll see next turn how much exactly that gave us. Doesn't look like much. Yeah, 111 gold, so nothing mind-blowing, but we still lost it. Yeah, Kublai Khan still beat us to liberalism. Shame. Yeah. Wonder what he researched with it. Like he got banking. What can we get from him for gunpowder? That's
All the world's a stage. Music be the food all the men and women merely play on. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts.
might not be fine. I don't know. I'm not a whiz at why are you not working the rice? Dummy. The little aqueduct, get your health back up. So yeah, I may have touched upon this in previous episodes. Again, I'm recording these, not recording these back to back to back. So if I've touched on anything already, I forget. But happiness, health is one of the bottlenecks to your city's growth. Basically, get for every citizen you have, you get 1 unhealthiness. So you can see we have 10 from population here in this little tooltip. Certain buildings will increase unhealthiness, and certain terrain will also increase unhealthiness. And you get healthiness from certain resources. The health resources, as they're called. And that can be increased by certain buildings. Like rice, you can see we have +1 from just having it, and then another 1 for having a granary in the city. And we get 1 health from fish, and then 1 health from having a harbor, 1 health from crab, 1 health from having a harbor, that kind of thing. And if your unhealthiness outweighs your healthiness, then you lose food per turn in your city's growth. So you can see we have 2 more unhealthiness than healthiness, so that means we're losing 2 food per turn. Healthiness is like the lesser of the two bottlenecks because if you have enough food, you can just counteract. Well, I mean, you can't counteract it completely because if you didn't have that unhealthiness, you'd be growing faster. But if you have enough food, you can kind of mitigate this penalty somewhat. Like it won't be as bad. Um, but happiness is the other big bottleneck. It's the same kind of situation. For every citizen you have, you get one unhappiness in your city. Um, you also get unhappiness from there's several other sources. Every time you use slavery in the city, you gain one unhappiness in the city, and that unhappiness lasts for a certain amount of turns. The more times you do it in a row, the longer it takes for all that unhappiness to kind of dissipate. Uh, there's war weariness, um, where the longer a war goes on, the more units you lose, the more cities you lose, the more unhappy your cities get. Um, and there are a few other factors that we'll get to later on in the game, but happiness is worse of a bottleneck than healthiness because once your unhappiness uh, over overwrites your happiness, then for every one unhappiness you have over your unhappiness, one citizen will refuse to work. And I believe if you have enough unhappy citizens, then, well, yeah, for like every like unhappy citizen will just like refuse to work. You can't assign them to any tile, you can't assign them to any specialist job. They'll just sit in their homes and just refuse to do anything. Um, and there's basically no way to counteract that without giving the city more happiness. So, um, interesting. Isabella founded Islam, which means she was the first person to discover divine right technology. Um, not a big deal. It's not a very unless you're planning on playing a very religious centric game. That's not a really vitally important technology in any strategy. Um, I don't think Sistine Chapel. I don't think we'll be able to pull that off either because we were not the first person to research uh, music. Uh, far from it. So someone else will probably build it really quickly.
There is no wealth like knowledge,
Okay.
no poverty like ignorance.
We still want to research for liberalism, even though we weren't the first to get it. Because, as mentioned in the previous episode, liberalism will lead to state property, and we definitely want state property for our strategery. Effort. Also going to start building a few universities around the Empire. Um, Universities are like libraries. They increase the amount of science you get out of your cities when you set them to, um, turn commerce into science. Um, they're not quite as good as libraries because they give you the same modifier, like they give you the same amount of extra science. Um, excuse me, that a library will give you, but they're a lot more expensive. Um, so you don't want to build them everywhere like you might with a library. You want to build at least 6. I know that's dictated by map size, but you want to build however many is required to build Oxford University, because Oxford University will give an extra 100% science to whatever city you build it in. It's like having 4 libraries in one city all at once. Now, it's not like it's going to take the total amount of science and double it. It's an extra 100% on top of every modifier you already have. So modifiers in this game are additive. If you have 2 buildings that give 25% science each, you basically add those two 25% to each other and you get 50%. So instead of 25% and then an extra 25% on top of that 125%, which, let me do the math here. Um, Calculator. Um, which would be about the same, but it should be 56% instead of 50%. So it's additive and not multiplicative. You add the modifiers together instead of multiplying them on top of each other, basically. So instead of if let me show you something. So here in Rome, uh, you're getting a total of, you can see you're getting a total of 75% science from buildings already. We have 25% from the library and then a 50% from the academy that we built with our great scientist. So if we were to build the Oxford University, instead of being 100% of this 112 that we're making in the city, it would be an extra 100% on top of that, plus 75%. So the base that we're getting is 58%. So instead of an extra 112 research coming out of the city, we'll get an extra 58 research out of the city. But that's still nothing to sneeze at. That's still very good. Yeah, so you can see Ligurian here is a little unhappy. We have one citizen who refuses to do his job. I'll try for the Sistine Chapel, if only just for a little bit of fail gold we'll probably get. We got a great scientist. I will hold on to him if we can get another golden age later on down the line. Right now, I am just... Oh, yeah, see, the turn after we started it, someone else builds it. Yeah, we didn't really have much of a chance to get in that one. That was one of my favorites, but we did not prioritize music because we were going for an early war. We did not get it. What that does is it gives +2 culture for every building related to your state religion. So all the temples and monasteries we get 2 culture each, and then every specialist will also give 2 culture each. It's very good for culture related games if you're going for a cultural victory, obviously. But I did not mean to.
Any society that would give up
you.
a little liberty to gain a little security will deserve neither and lose both.
I think first I'm going to go for chemistry, actually, because that will give our workshops more production. Then I'll go for communism to get to state property. Then I'll go replaceable parts for all the economic benefits we get it. Then astronomy, steam power for coal and levees, then assembly line for factories, and steel and railroad for railroads. Then to electricity for you get a lot of nice commerce bonuses from electricity as well. Then we will just go straight to rocketry for the Apollo program, satellites for the docking bay, composites for the casing, ecology for the life support, superconductors for the thrusters, fiber optics for the cockpit, fusion for the engine, and genetics for the stasis chamber. Yeah, 71 gold. That's better than nothing. So we want free religion. No, I'm not giving you nationalism. I'm not giving anyone nationalism until we finish Taj Mahal. Because if someone else has nationalism, then they can build the Taj Mahal and they can beat us to it. I do not want that to happen. And after we already lost liberalism. The only reason I'm like so kind of bitter about losing liberalism is because it's rather easy to get on lower difficulties. And I'm playing on like the moderate difficulty. It's pretty easy to get it first. Very rarely, I'm not the first person to get that technology. So, yeah, I get a little upsetty spaghetti about it. Yeah, working the gold. Work the gold. The governors, man. Two turns away from finishing the Taj Mahal. So if no one else finishes it in the next 2 turns, then we've got it. Now, research banking in 2 turns when we get to it. I'm not spending all of the money I currently have and giving you a technology for it. It's not happening. Not always the best at negotiating for technologies, but you were the one who was offering it. Now, okay. No, I didn't even have it. We're sorely far behind. Like I said, I'm gonna wait until I finish Taj Mahal before I trade nationalism to anyone. Alright. That golden age means we got it. Because, I don't want... I'm not sure. No. Yep. Because when you build the Taj Mahal, you trigger golden age, so... The fact that we started a golden age means we got it. Excellent. All right. Do it again. Okay. And then technology back up. We're going for comic 2. Does anyone have astronomy? Kublai does, but he won't trade it. Stingy bastard. Actually, now that we have built Taj Mahal, we can trade away nationalism just fine.
Banking establishments are more dangerous than standing armies.
I think everybody else had that, so we can't like trade that to anyone else. Yeah, it might even be prudent to trade for astronomy instead of waiting to get it ourselves. That's another thing I'm not necessarily good at, is weighing whether or not I should trade for technology or try to just research it myself. Oh, a bunch of people will trade economics. Would be grab. I believe he look at there. Economics. Okay, good. That does not obsolete our Great Lighthouse. I think we can safely trade for that. Yeah, that's fine.
Compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe.
I also sometimes tend to get a bit paranoid if the if I'm not like miles ahead of the AI. You don't necessarily need to be ahead of the AI technologically to win, especially if you're not going for a science victory, especially if you're going for like a military victory. But it does help, you know. It doesn't hurt to be ahead of the AI. Yeah, can't hurt to go for that right now before we it'll be a while yet before we get into state property, so having that extra trade route would be nice. Yeah, that's fine.
Chemistry means the difference between poverty and starvation and the abundant life.
Nope. Has it, and he still won't. He'll be stingy. Yeah. The AI isn't usually willing to trade away a technology if they're the only one who has it. Because they're stingy and they like having that power over people, I guess. It's like having the advantage. So if like and it depends on the AI, you know. Matsu Musa, I think, is the only AI that is always willing to like trade technology if he likes you enough. Like he's never gonna keep it for himself because he's the only one who has it. He might withhold it from you because he doesn't like you enough to give it to you, but he'll never trade it away because he wants to be the only one who has it. He likes not doing that. Why are you? No.
What gunpowder did for war, the printing press has done for the mind.
City here. Going to a bunch of these tiles that are out of range of all of my cities. Build all my statues. These give +1 production on all coastal tiles, and the city's not going to have a lot of like land tiles to work with, so the better we can make its water tiles, the better. Nope. Since Kublai has agronomy, we can buy resources off of him. For all of this, I not buy. Yeah, see all these tiles that are not highlighted? These are all tiles that are outside of the workable range of all these cities. I don't know if we want one up here because there aren't any like good resources here, but one here. Put one there, then we'll get that cow, which is a nice food resource, but we'll also be on the river. Good for later. Bowman. Defenses take. Yeah, okay, good. A few longbowmen in here for decay. I believe that's how you would pronounce it. Notice in here first. Microscope. else has astronomy? Why is... I guess no one cares about me. No one wants to come say hi.
I do not feel obliged to believe that the same God who has endowed us with sense, reason, and intellect has intended us to forego their use.
Such a good quote. Quite a few people could learn to take that to heart. I'm not gonna name names, but people. At first, but longbows, a good man. Let's see. Way up here, see if we've settled those islands yet. Nope. Had to move that one into decay. Might take too long for some of those to build up to.
When
There
I
we
give
go.
food to the poor, they call
Communism.
me a saint. When I ask why the poor have no food,
They call me a communist. Alright. The Great Spike is in time for us to pop another golden age. Excellent. That golden age. Big property without a key. Yes, please. That does is that gives all of our workshops one extra food, so the penalty for working them isn't as harsh. And it also gives +1 food to water mills, so they're basically better than farms on river tiles. And it also drastically reduces the maintenance of our cities. It's probably the biggest benefit. Yep, looks like Populi has been settling these. Good for prioritizing what you prioritize. One thing, lose out on another. Most of our tiles are improved to our liking, so I'm just gonna have these guys automate building roads so that when we research railroads, they'll build railroads everywhere. Railroads work a little differently in this game than they do in Civilization 3. Rather than improving the yields of both farms and mines, they improve the yields of mines and quarries, and I think lumber mills. Don't necessarily have a lot of those, but they're also good for like moving units around. Like the other big benefit of railroads in any game is
The
that
whole is more than the sum of its parts.
make your units move faster around the map. Allows them to do their jobs quicker, because they can get to where they need to be quicker. Still no... Oh! Dubai will give us astronomy now. No, he won't. Hate it when the game lies to you like that. It says, "Oh, he'll trade it to you, but he won't actually trade it to you because there's nothing you can give him that he wants." Izzy, you had... No, you did not. Who had it? It was Constitution, Zara, Surrey, and Koopa have it. Sorry. You have Constitution. What do you want? Stop lying to me, game. Stop telling me they'll trade it to me when they won't trade it to me. Probably build a Forbidden Palace. Forbidden Palace works just the same in Civ 4 that does in Civ 3. It acts like a second palace for the purpose of calculating like how far your cities are. It reduces maintenance in nearby cities. We'll build that here. There are like more cities. It's farther away from the capital, so it'll benefit the cities around a little.
Astronomy
There we go.
compels the soul to look upwards and leads us from this world to another.
Now we can trade for resources with everyone. Yeah. Because you need astronomy to be able to move, like trade resources across the ocean like that. See that, and there are pretty much no resources we can trade for anyway, because nobody has anything. Frigate now. Let's down here, see if anyone's settled down there. We might be worth it setting up some colonies down there, so to speak. Observatories. That's another good thing about astronomy, is observatories. So observatories again are like libraries and universities. They boost the science in your cities, but the big reason I like building observatories everywhere when I'm doing a science game specifically is because they are required to build a laboratory. Sort of like how a library is required to build a university, an observatory is required to build a laboratory. And a laboratory boosts the production of spaceship parts in the city. So I like having those everywhere so I can build laboratories everywhere so I can build my spaceship parts faster. Oh, there's some coal down there.
You would make a ship sail against the
I think we
winds
have
and currents by
probably
lighting
have
a
plenty of coal
bonfire
here
under
too.
her deck?
Oh yeah, there's some right there.
I have no time for such nonsense.
Actually, coal isn't really that important, but it'd be nice to have. The galleon 5 turns. I don't know. The longbowman. Levies. Levies are good because they give +1 production to all tiles next to a river, but you can only build it if your city is on a river. Nope. Doesn't look like anyone has settled down there. So, might be prudent. Down there, get some extra cities. If only for the extra trade routes and to deny the AI any cities. Down there. I think Antium is done with its observatory, we will have it build a... How long will it take you to build a galleon once you're done with that? 4 turns. You to build one. 6 turns. It'll be the same, and this... The Arpinum here is actually closer to that island down there. 3 units. We'll build a settler. You're done with the customs house, you build a... Actually, oh... Yeah, you can build the galleon much faster. You have a crazy amount of production. You build 2 galleons, and... Actually going to start moving some of the Praetorians down here, because there are a lot of barbs down on that island, so use these to clear them out. You can also take those 2 barbarian cities that are down there as well. Yep. Why don't you build a longbowman, and then we can have... Yeah, these barbs don't have very good technology, so it should be easy to steamroll with our, even with our Praetorians, which are vastly outdated by this point. Few automated workers. Have them build some watermills over here in Ravenna. Like I said, they're better than farms on
taken, imprisoned, or in any other way destroyed,
river tides.
Except by the lawful judgment of his peers.
Presentation. Clear the waters of Arab galleys, because they can be surprisingly vicious for a unit with 2 combat strength.
I am the state.
Alright, we have a galleon. Means we can load up a settler, worker, and this Praetorian. That guy down there. A longbowman to reinforce the cities around here. And I think we will call it an episode there. So, in the next episode, we will continue our development. We will continue our progress towards our scientific victory. We'll colonize this island, should get a few more cities and deny the AI some land. And hopefully we will win our scientific victory. If you liked the video, feel free to give it a like and a comment. Those tell YouTube that you like my stuff and you want other people to see it. If you want to see more of my stuff, click the subscribe button and ding that little bell. That will give you notifications whenever I post anything. And as always, be good, stay safe, and I will see you all next time.